Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. Today we're talking Starfield as well as Elder Scrolls 6. And if you're into that kind of content, consider subscribing because actually that's all I really do here is Bethesda stuff. I really love their games and I really like talking about their games. So let's get into it. Topic of the day, what are some things that Starfield introduced that you hope are going to be in Elder Scrolls 6? That's a great question. I wanted to start out by calling out something, and then we'll get into the comments a little bit after I give my opinion. Just so the general audience listening to this understands, Bethesda has an engine they use to create all their games, and essentially every game they make uses the improved version of that engine that they enhanced from the last game. So, what I'm saying in a nutshell is Bethesda releases Skyrim, and then when they do Fallout 4, they added improvements to the engine for Fallout 4 in the form of settlements, in the form of looting without getting into menus. So then when they go to Starfield, all of those improvements from Fallout 4 flow over into Starfield. So Starfield now has that looting menu was built right in to begin with. The ability to build settlements and things like that was built in to begin with. And then Starfield makes their own improvements to the game. Then Bethesda make their own improvements to the Starfield game. For example, shipbuilding, vehicles, better animations, better vertical movement, and these things will in theory be tools that Bethesda can use in Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 5. So it's kind of the cool part of continuing to use the same engine is every improvement, enhancement, and lesson learned from every game before flows into the next game. So in theory, Elder Scrolls 6 should have all the cool things implemented from Fallout 4 and Starfield in the next Elder Scrolls. So for all the people out there that are like, oh, I'm really irritated Bethesda worked on Fallout 4 or worked on Starfield before they worked on another Elder Scrolls, and I'm really a big Elder Scrolls fan, there's like the light at the end of the tunnel right there is like they've been improving upon their engine. And so that Elder Scrolls 6 will be monumentally better than it would have been if they made it right after Skyrim. Like Elder Scrolls 6 would have felt more like Fallout 4 instead of feeling like an evolution of Fallout 4 and Starfield to the game we're going to get hopefully soon. So I think it's a really fun topic. Let's get into some of the comments on it because I have a feeling they're going to resonate with what I would say. And I'll give you my feedback on said comments. One commenter said, something I don't see talked about enough is the ability to look out of windows from interior cells into functional exterior cells. It's honestly a game changer, and it goes to show how much Bethesda has improved and iterated on the engine all of these years. Yeah, totally. It's super cool. So cells are referring to anytime you see a loading screen, it's because the engine's loading a new cell, a new instance, and everything within that instance is inevitably permanent, which is super cool. That's why when you go in like a house in Fallout 4 or in Starfield, essentially like if you were to move an object 3 inches over and you come back to that house 1,000 hours later, that object will still be there. So the game can't inherently load all of that at one time. So it has like these things, it breaks the map up into these cells that you load into, these very individualized, personalized environments. But in past games, like once you went into a building, you're in the new cell, right? And you can only see what's within that cell. You can't see the world interacting in the next cell over anymore. Starfield did a really cool job of like when you're in your spaceship, which is kind of like a cell, you can actually still see the world outside the cell interacting with itself. Same when you go in like a building in Starfield, like you may load into a building, but you can actually see the next cell over and still see what's going on outside. This will be a really cool thing to have in Elder Scrolls for sure. Looking forward to seeing it. Another commenter said, the simple ability to mantle over or onto an obstacle. I miss it when I go back to Skyrim, just like being able to move better in the world. Yep, totally. I 100% agree that the grapple, the climb over obstacles piece that they added into Starfield is miles ahead of anything you're getting in 76, Fallout 4, or Skyrim. And I 100% agree that when I go back to those games, as much as I love those games too, I really miss that. I really get annoyed when I come up to a hip-high obstacle and I can only jump knee-high and I'm just stuck. It's like, come on, dude, in real life I could climb over this thing. They fixed that in Starfield. It's such a good quality of life improvement. I know games have been doing it forever. Comment section, you can comment if you want, but the reality is like it's still a great improvement, and I'm really excited to see it in Elder Scrolls 6. Another commenter said the return of levitation. It was removed because the dungeon designers couldn't make good dungeons with it. Now they have a whole game of experience making dungeons with it. Yeah. Now Morrowind had some sweet levitation, and I don't know if it was sweet. It was sweet at the time, but like, yeah, Starfield, one of the most fun things. Another thing I really miss when I play Fallout 4 or Elder Scrolls, and you could argue all day they're better games or not, whatever. That's not what I'm here to debate today. But if you play Starfield, like its vertical movement through the jetpacks is super fun. Being able to like fly around and shoot from the sky dynamically. Super duper fun, right? So like I really miss that when I go back to Fallout 4, and I'm not saying Fallout 4 should have jetpacks because it doesn't make sense, but if I can be a wizard that can fly around and shoot magic from the sky in Elder Scrolls 6, I think that'd be super fun, and I'd love to see it. Another commenter said, settlement building is a big one. Would love to buy a plot of land and be lord of a small city. Yeah, this is one of those things that was introduced in Fallout 4 that initially the community wasn't like a huge fan of, but I think everyone grew to love over time. I was kind of on that boat too of like, initially I was like, I don't know why I need this in my RPG, but the more I played Fallout and I could actually have a home that I build and customize and bring my loot back to and do all my weapon crafting and things back there, like it really became an essential part, an immersive part of the world to me. And now without it, I feel when I go back to like Skyrim, I feel I really miss that element. I really do. Like, I don't feel I can get as immersed in the world. And I even have this issue with, like, Cyberpunk. Like, it's a phenomenal game. But, like, the inability to, like, build my own house and tailor that house to me, which kind of, like, represents my character as a whole. And I'll throw up, like, a couple of screenshots because, like, in Starfield, my ship is kind of that. But, like, I decorate it. I make it my own. It's my home to go back to. And it just really immerses me in the world more. And, like, I really hope Elder Scrolls 6 brings in this element. Another commenter said, personally, I'm just excited for the writing. Starfield side quests are branching and give the world a lot of life. A Elder Scrolls game with the quality of writing is just going to kick so much ass because I'm also going to be caving in some poor guy's skull while I set his entire robber gang on fire with my mind. Okay. It started out so like normal, and then it just got so weird. But like I thought about like editing this out, not to break the fourth wall, but I'm kind of like, all right, we'll keep it in because it's so out there. But in general, I agree. Yeah, I like the storytelling and side quests and things as well, actually. A lot of people poked at Starfield's main quest. It's not actually my favorite either by any means. Probably my least favorite between Skyrim, Fallout 4, and Starfield. But I do like the side quests. The people that aren't taking the time to go and play some of those side quests, they're really missing out because there's some great side quests in Starfield. The good news is it's Bethesda, man. There's going to be side quests. There's going to be plenty of them, and there'll be plenty of good ones, and there'll probably be some crap ones as well, but that's the name of the game, right? So I don't even have to worry. You don't have to worry about that one, man. Like, that's happening. You're good. There'll be side quests, I promise. Another commenter said the roleplay potential. Starfield is the best Bethesda game since at least Oblivion in terms of roleplay. It gives you so much freedom and so many choices that Skyrim and Oblivion feels too limiting in comparison to it. It's funny, man, because this is one of the opinions that a lot of people would disagree with. A lot of people say that Starfield lost role-playing elements because there's not enough consequences. And it's a totally, like, split jury here, where people like me go, I want to exist in this world and do what I want. If I want to be a pirate and then evolve into a Marine, like I could in real life, so why can't I in the game? Other people are going, if I choose to be a pirate, I should not be able to be a Marine. And that's the core fundamentals of an RPG. Let me know what you think in the comment section. The jury is obviously out on that one. Another commenter said a sailing feature would be amazing. I love the bloated float in Oblivion. To have an actual customizable houseboat would be great. Best thing ever, dude. Best thing ever. Like, it is the one thing that I want in this game more than anything, because it was the most fun I had in Starfield, was building ships, decorating ships, making them my home, taking them on travels with me. Like, it is fundamentally the best part of Starfield. You could argue that Starfield's story or RPG elements aren't as good as Fallout 4 or Skyrim if you want, but it's really hard to deny how fun shipbuilding, ship battles, docking other ships, and decorating your ship and making it your own are, it's undeniable how much fucking fun that was. Another commenter said sailing in naval combat would be dope. Dude, it would be so dope. I'm dead serious here, and I hope this is a popular opinion, but like the idea of making a ship, sailing it around to get places, decorating it, crafting it, customizing the weapon layout on it, having naval battles, stealing other people's ships. Like, please, Bethesda, you can just leave Skyrim as is and add this one element to it and call it Elder Scrolls 6. And I'm going to be like stoked out of my fucking mind. It's going to be so good because it's so good in Starfield. It would be so good in Elder Scrolls 2. Please, please, please do this. Another commenter said background and skills appearing in conversation and letting you approach quests multiple ways can be one of the things that makes Starfield my favorite game. Yeah, this is kind of going back to old school Bethesda because it used to do this, and then somewhere along the line, I'm talking to you, Fallout 4. Love you. One of my favorite games of all time, by the way. But talking to you, Fallout 4, you took this part out, and I really miss this part too, and I feel like the community did. So it was welcomed back in Starfield, and I'm sure they'll bring it over into Elder Scrolls and everything moving forward. So community overwhelmingly loves that feature. I think it's a great feature, and I think they should. So I'm expecting it back in Elder Scrolls 6. I'd be more surprised if it isn't. Another commenter said the game difficulty settings. I enjoy playing Fallout 4 on survival, but being able to completely customize your experience is a game changer. Once again, totally. You can bash on Starfield all you want, but the reality is like they came out in one of the updates with the ability to go tweak your settings, and it is so fun. You can add survival elements. You can add like the severity of survival elements. You can change the way combat feels. Is it faster? Is it slower? You can change the way that meds interact with your body and like whether they completely cure afflictions or just like temporarily help with afflictions. You can change how much money vendors have. You can change your access to cargo space, distance. Like, there's so much stuff. And I made a video a long time ago about my favorite settings that I can link in the description if anybody's curious. But, like, the settings that I've tweaked compared to the vanilla game of how it came, total game changer. I made the combat faster. I made the vendors richer. I did all sorts of little tweaks. And the cool thing, too, if you're asking, like, hey, but, like, wouldn't those things make the game easier or harder? Yes. And Bethesda actually addressed that. By your experience gets nerfs or buffs depending on how you tweak your settings. So as you're doing it, you can actually say, all right, I want like my weapons to cause more damage. Okay, well then you're going to take a negative 6% on experience boost. Okay, but I also want the enemy's weapons to do more damage back at me to speed up combat. All right, well that would be a plus 6 experience boost. So now you're just back to like even on that one. I want my food to completely heal me. That's going to nerf your experience. I want the food to not heal me at all. That's going to buff the experience. And it does this across the whole board, so it's really cool. And you can see it in real time, like, as you're doing the settings. I think I have, like, I changed a lot of my stuff to be harder. So, like, I think I have, like, a plus 20% experience boost based on, like, I play pretty hard settings with this game. Not trying to brag, just play, like, 1,000 hours. I need challenge at this point. So, yes. I can't imagine they wouldn't put this in, too, because I think the community loves this one, but like, refined settings, please, Bethesda, add this to Elder Scrolls 6. Another commenter said, fast travel from enclosed locations. Yeah, I like this one too. So one thing I have the problem with in Skyrim and Fallout 4 is, like, I get in these deep caves or dungeons and, like, I kind of complete what I want to complete. And, like, I think Fallout 4, like, improved upon this, and, like, there's a lot of times, like, an easy exit out, but sometimes you're, like, in the middle and just want to go, like, do something else. It's really nice to just, like, be able to fast travel back to my ship in Starfield when I want and not have to, like, find my way back out. You know what you could do? You could make that a setting. Yeah, it has been, like, a big quality of life thing for me, is I'm not, like, afraid of being lost forever every time I go in a dungeon. Fallout 4, I literally get stressed out sometimes, like, oh god, this thing's been a twisty, turny, weavy mess, and I gotta figure out my way back out of here at some point, and I might spend, like, the next half an hour trying to figure out how to get back out of here, and, like, honestly, that's just not that much fun. And if that's immersive to you guys, you can still do it, but it's not really that much fun. It's almost better just to, like, get your shit out of the dungeon and move on. Guys, I think I'll wrap it up there. I mean, this goes on and on and on. I think it's kind of a cool exercise because it really, like, opens your eyes and shows you, like, whether you love Starfield or hate it, like there's a lot of improvements that Starfield's added to the game, and it's just gonna make Elder Scrolls 6 that much better if we can get some of these things in it. So I'm really looking forward to it. If you stuck around this long, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's super cool, man. I try to make content like this a few times a week if you're interested in sticking around. If not, no big deal. But once again, I appreciate you guys. I hope you like this video. I've been mostly focused on Starfield right now, but as Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5 become more of a thing, I'll totally be focusing on those too, because like I said, I just love everything Bethesda. But in the meantime, thanks again for watching, and have a great day.